Good morning, students. We have done so far 5 video classes and we are trying to understand the credit control measures. We have completed quantitative measures, bank rate, open market operations, CRR, SLR, repo rate, reverse repo rate, and qualitative measures, margin requirement, rationing of credit, and we have reached till moral pressure. So this we have covered: bank rate, CRR, SLR, open market operations, repo rate, reverse repo rate, margin requirement, and rationing of credit. And last one will cover up is moral pressure. It refers to written or oral advice given by central bank to commercial banks to restrict or expand credit. During inflation, commercial banks are advised to be selective in lending. It means they are also well-learned officers. The people working in commercial banks, they are also aware of the situation in the economy, whether it is inflation or deflation. So in moral pressure, central bank just advises them to be selective during inflation and to be liberal in lending during deflation. And now you have to revise all the rates what we have done so far. The measures, the credit control measures, will go through each and every slide of this chapter, that is money in banking. We have covered all the functions, that is issue of currency, banker to the government, banker's bank, lender of last resort, custodian of nation reserve of foreign exchange, and controller of credit. In our last 5 video classes, this is issue of currency, then banker to the government, banker's bank, lender of last resort, custodian of nation's reserve, controller of credit we have done in detail. There are 2 credit control measures, quantitative measure and qualitative measure, to control inflation and deflation. And these are the quantitative measures we have done so far: bank rate, open market operations, cash reserve ratio, statutory liquidity ratio, repo rate, reverse repo rate. We have done qualitative measures, that is margin requirement, rationing of credit, and moral pressure. This slide is for the bank rate, then CRR, SLR, open market operations, repo rate, reverse repo rate, margin requirement, rationing of credit, moral pressure. So the summary of this particular section of this chapter is that the central bank tries to expand credit in case of deflation and tries to restrict credit in case of inflation. Or we can say the flow of cash is injected or absorbed. It is absorbed in case of, now I think the answer is with you, it is absorbed in case of inflation. Central bank absorbs the cash so that there will be less cash available in the economy in case of inflation, and central bank injects credit through commercial banks. That's why we call quantitative measures as indirect measure. Injects in case of deflation. So now you have to answer these questions in your notebook. Please write down these questions. Explain bank of issue function of central bank. Question number 2. Distinguish between CRR and SLR. Question number 3. How does central bank perform the function of controller of credit? Question number 4. Explain banker's bank function of central bank. Question number 5. Explain lender of last resort function of central bank. Question number 6. Differentiate between quantitative and qualitative measures of credit control. Now question number 7. Explain how open market operation are helpful in controlling credit control, or you can say in controlling credit. Yes, you can correct it. What is bank rate policy? Differentiate between repo rate and reverse repo rate. And the last question is explain how margin requirement is helpful in controlling credit creation. So again we can go through these slides. We have completed these slides so far, and now we have done the questions. Also revise these slides and do all these questions in your notebook. Then only these video classes will be beneficial. If you will not revise, then there is no use of these video classes. Read these questions carefully and try to answer them. So what you have to revise is the function of central bank functions, what we have done, and specifically we have done in detail the credit control measures to control the situation of inflation and deflation. This is divided into two parts, this particular chapter. The third section is there also, which we'll do in our next video classes, that is credit creation by commercial banks. We have now learned the importance of credit, so we'll learn how credit is created by commercial banks. Credit creation, the topic is credit creation by commercial bank. This will continue in our next video class. So in case of any query, you can mail it to me. I'll sort out the valid queries and try to answer them at my best. Thank you. Stay at your home and be safe.